Hello, guys. Welcome back. Sometimes you guys give me really good talking points, and I'm not disagreeing with the person that I was talking with, by the way. It's just I kind of wanted to amplify the answer, kind of, because of how I was taught when I came in by the Mambos and Hugans I worked with. And this that applies to Loa can kind of apply to any god or goddess, but a little different. But you'll see what I mean. Let's say somebody asks you to build a house. And the first person that asks you is trillionaire, even more money. You have unlimited money to build this house, and they want just a nice, cute little house by their private lake. Cute little, house with, little furniture in it, everything. It has to be real tiny, like those little micro-sized houses, something like that. And you have unlimited money. And so you build a beautiful house. It's got cedar shingles. It's got imported wood and paint. It's got exotic wood floors. It's got self-heating floors. It's got a little fountain in it. It's got all the luxury stuff. There are TVs and every luxury good you could think of, you can just pour into this house because there's unlimited money. Marble, gold, platinum, sky's the limit. So you make this beautiful, beautiful house, and the rich man is extremely pleased. And you're extremely pleased too because you get a sizable donation to your bank account. One second. These allergies today, I swear. My apologies. And one second, guys. I am sorry. Whew, sorry about that. And you have built this beautiful house and you've given him this great thing and everybody is talking about it. And in the same town there's a man who's extremely poor. And he has seen your beautiful work and he has heard all the stories about all the wonderful things you did for the rich man. And he says, well, would you build me a house? He's not asking for the same thing. He might secretly hope for the same thing, but he's not asking for the same thing. And he says, well, I can't pay you, but I can give you food while you work. And you think about it and you go, okay, okay. And you're lucky that you live in an area where it's legal to wildcraft stuff because you have to wildcraft everything you will for this gentleman. So you have to go out and get the wood, and maybe you gotta take a very long time building this because it's just but you eventually build him like a small little house. It's not great. You haven't wildcrafted before in your life. It certainly does not look like the things you see on YouTube of how to build a pool, just by digging or how to, it's nothing beautiful like that, but it's okay. It's gonna keep the elements off of them, and it's kind of cute, but maybe it doesn't have heated floors and maybe there's no marble in it because everything's natural. But, it looks nice enough. And he understands that, he could give you absolutely nothing to work with, but you still got them both shelter. It's just, you worked off of what they could give you. And the Loa kind of work the same way. They will take the path of least resistance, all gods will, where if you can give them a huge amount of material to start the job, great. They can go at it. But if you can give them only a little small bit of material or none at all, they will still work for you. Well, I hate saying work for you, work with you. But they are not going to be able to go nearly as fast. And it's not that they're greedy and stingy. It's just, take our example of the house. If you had unlimited money or you had no money at all, that makes a huge difference between what the end result's going to be. So, we agreed that, they'll be able to share in what everyone else is getting. We have the running lights on all the time, like you can see one behind me. Those are on 24/7, and they're on in a lot of rooms, so they should be happy. We have the altar lights for the other gods that they can share in if the gods feel like sharing that day. I don't believe in taking something from one group and giving it to another, though sometimes you don't have much choice and you have to say, will you share a little bit of territory? And we have the running lights over here, like the colorful lights and everything. So they get that. They get that as a base thing. And then sometimes I go in there and put on the lights, or I play music, or I play, I use scent. And this applies to Loki too. And sometimes we bake together, sometimes we cook together. If I can remember, they know I've had a couple strokes, so if I can remember, they get offered everything I'm gonna have before I have it, but if I don't, they know the standing thing is they can take it. Sometimes if I can scrounge some together, we've got a fuck ton of incense left, thankfully. Incense and sometimes more rarely a candle. So, you do what you can. And the gods will do what they can in reply. Now, Loki works a little bit differently. A lot of times it's not he's usually not interested in a thing. I mean, when we first were starting to really legitimize his undisputed rule here, clap, clap, clap back here. I did get him some statues. He has a couple statues. I will admit that. And he has his altars, but it's almost as much for you as it is for the god. But he enjoys having these things, and it makes him more favorably disposed. But if you can't afford to and you can't have an altar, he understands, and that's really not an issue. But honestly, the Mambo I worked with told me, it's really truly how we live our lives. And that applies to Wudon Loa, that applies to gods, angels, saints, demons, whomever we work with. It's how we live our lives and the choices we make day to day. It's, how we do everything. How do we manage our finances? Like, if I'm going to go to Papa Ogu and start crying that I can't afford to fix something, he's going to want to know, did I waste money this month? And he's going to be very exacting about it. You think Mammon is bad? He's worse. And he's going to look at me and he's going to think about it. And maybe he'll ask for a meal or something in reply. Usually the great thing is about most gods, goddesses, spirits, whatever term you feel comfortable calling anyone you work with, is that usually food is a great payment. You have to eat anyway, so if you can agree to and manage the meal that they want, you both win. You give food on the table and they get an offering. So, um, it's really a thing, especially now when we're living in a world that just feels like it's upside down and we've got all this stuff going on at once and we don't know which way to turn. You don't have to worry about back in the old days. Everybody was kind of being told you need all these statues. You need all to get all this stuff. You need all these crystals, and you're still seeing that on Instagram. Keep in mind on Instagram, a lot of these people are showing you a false reality. They go into a crystal store, ask if they can set all this shit up and take a picture. They don't own all this shit. They possibly couldn't, or be living in a fucking museum of crystals. So, I can live back here. Keep in mind you're being fed an illusion a lot of the time, so don't feel pressure to have, a fuck ton of stuff. A lot of the stuff I have in this house set up is why I tell you don't really focus on an altar. It's decades old stuff. It's older than a lot of my viewers, and it's stuff that they don't mind having. And everybody kind of shares in it collectively sometimes. It belongs to the one it's dedicated to, but they're usually pretty good about sharing. And the demons are happy, and the few occasional angels are happy. Jesus seems fine. Odin is back and trying to kind of be in charge of his own little pocket. He's kind of being quiet, so we're keeping an eye on him. Loki is very pleased. Loki likes having Legba here, and Legba and I are learning to calm down. Legba knows that Odin will torment his people until they'll bite. He'll prod you, prod you, prod you until you explode and attack, and that's what Odin wants. He wants his people to fight with him, be strong enough to stand up and fight. Usually not the response Legba is working for or looking for, but he's understanding now that sideways snap that I'll do at him is honestly, it's the way Legba would talk to you. And I'm trying to tamp it down, and he is just kind of, he's been looking at me. I'm getting Karen a lot. Karen. And he just gives me this exasperated look. I'm lucky that he loves me, or I would be dead. I can't emphasize enough how much respect you should have with Legba, but I think he's hyper intelligent, so he knows that I'm just behaving the way Odin's taught me to. Odin and Loki especially like me to be contentious and yappy and fight back and stand my ground, and if I want something, how hard am I willing to fight for it? And Lee was kind of a little bit exasperated, but he knows he's losing out because Dumball is kind of chortling to himself of you're getting what you've always been looking for. And Ogu's like, "It's my girl." So Ogu, the belly that I serve, and work with, he's my family. He's very peaceful. And so a lot of people in Voodoo will call him a coward. But he's peaceful in the sense that he won't attack first, but then when you do, he'll fucking obliterate you is what he'll do. And he always told me that I could stand up to Legba, that, you can still stand up to someone and show them respect and love. At the end of the day, as much as we fight, Oda knows I love him and respect him. And there are lines I usually don't cross, and he usually doesn't cross. And if we cross them, then we have a good old fight. And Loki just sits there and Lil Fox munching popcorn, going, "This is good shit. Keep going." So, Loki just enjoys it. And Leva and I are gonna have to learn where our parameters are. It's nothing compared to the Baron is warming up his little skeleton paws, and it's nothing compared to the fights I used to have with the Baron. Oh, we can hit every last button for both of each other, and we deliberately try to. We love each other insanely deeply, we do, but we would have these raging battles where I would get so fucking pissed off at him, I would take his ring off and whip it at him. And of course, he's not actually physically standing there, so it would just fly through space and bounce off of something. And then because he was pissed, I couldn't find it. And I would be like looking all around, and I was like, well, it had to like bounce into something. I didn't get it back till he felt like giving it back. So we could really go at each other. We really could. It was just I should have been listening to him and not listening to trolls on the internet is what I should have been doing. But I didn't share that with you guys to dispute the person. I actually agree. It's more a thing of if I can give you $1 million worth of material to give me something, versus if I can give you nothing at all, I'm going to get very different results. And it doesn't mean you don't love me or you don't care about me if you're someone that knows me. It just means that's what I can give you. So, I hope you guys are having a good one, and I hope you're, handling these turbulent times as best as possible. Garrett McQueen from NPR. I love listening to him every night when he's on. And, there are a couple videos of him on YouTube where he hosts stuff and, him playing his classical instrument. And, you know, he was thanking people last night for caring about him and checking in on him because he's not working terribly too far from where the unrest is. And he said he's fine, he's okay. So far trouble hasn't started in his neck of the woods. And he thanked people, and he's a gentleman, so he did not say, what everybody was thinking is that, he's a black gentleman, and everybody was afraid for him to go into work, and everybody keeps checking on him. Are you okay? Are you okay? Do you have to go into work? And so we just have to watch out for one another, guys. We just have to take care of one another, and we will get through all of this. I profoundly understand the anger. Depending on what, kind of life experience you've had, I profoundly understand the anger. I used to work at this flea market where the owner of the building was an utter shit. I mean, he was like they say slumlord. He would never fix this building. It was literally falling apart, and the roof was leaking, and there were roaches everywhere, and this is where I worked. And he would never fix shit. Okay, it used to be that somebody in the family that at least tried to fix shit owned it, and it used to be beautiful. It used to be bookstores and everything in it. But then a new family member took over, and he wouldn't fix shit. So there'd be like water like forming in pools, and there'd be cockroaches, and the building was crumbling down around us, and you charge these crazy rates for people to go in there on the weekend and have a flea market. And the police would come by periodically, and they would, look at the building, and they wouldn't say anything, and they wouldn't say anything. And one day we finally got shut down, I think by the state or something. And people were outraged. People were going to this flea market not because for fun, although some retirees did it for fun. A lot of people were trying to make a livelihood. And suddenly our livelihood was taken away, and people got angry. And as people moved out, maybe they just left stuff behind. So those of us that were behind, we were like, is it ethical to, take stuff? And they were like, yeah, I don't want this shit. I can't sell it. I can't take it with me. So, you had that weird thing where you were taking stuff that people left behind, and you were also watching people, just bust the living shit out of stuff. And you understood the anger because, people were losing something that, for a lot of them, they didn't have the money to be there every weekend, but they tried because they were trying to get ahead. And that was all they had that they could go do. That was all they knew. So I understand the anger as far as that goes. I really do. And I've worked in a lot of jobs where people didn't have much. So I understand what it's like to just feel frustrated and feel broken and feel down. I don't understand the black experience. I'm not going to say I do. But I fucking understand wanting to destroy everything around you. I do. I do. I really do. So I hope this one finds you guys okay. And I don't think, obviously destroying things just, it sets back your cause, but I understand it. I really do. So I hope this finds you guys okay. And if you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you later. Bye bye.